How about now? Oh my goodness, y'all. There was an update from Mac. I know, Priest. I know the no volume. There's an update for the Mac OS, and it has caused all kinds of issues that I am still trying to figure out. So hopefully I will be able to get it figured out. PSN is down. Update from Mac screwed up everything. I'm flying solo. This is not going to be a really great show, but we're going to work through all the vibes. I appreciate Bird and Priest for hanging out with me today. Let's get over here and talk a little OMFL. We have missed the last few shows, and it's time to start talking season 111, as it is halfway or almost halfway through the halfway mark. We are at week number 7. I want to talk about a couple of week number 6 games, look at the few week number 7 games. I think there's one game left, and it's probably, I don't even know if it's in process right now. It may not even be in process. Bert, are y'all even able to play? Like, PSN's down, right? I don't know, maybe I get the joke, but maybe I'm like, wait a second, are they really playing and I'm lost? All right. Let's talk about the OMFL real quick, and we'll get right into it. We'll give it a little volume there. We can have a little bit of volume. I don't know if this is going to fully work. Let's see. Where are we at? Let's see. Is this going to let me interact? It is not. What do we need to do here? You know what? We're going to fix this really fast. Because the way it's set up, you're going to lose me for a second, but I'm going to be right back. There we go. The way it's set up, I cannot currently control it, but now I can control it. There we go. Let's see. There we go. Okay, it's let me control it now. All right, the way I had it set up, it wasn't going to let me control it. Even now, it's not letting me. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to get it to where it'll work nicely. It's not working nice right now. It won't let me scroll. It's the weird thing about Neon Sports on a Mac. It doesn't always work nice. Well, y'all seen me figure this out in real time. So that's going to be the problem. Wants me to log in. All right, we're going to try it. I don't know if this is going to work. We're going to try it together. What's up, Kev? What's up, Bill? I'm sorry the PSN's down. I'm flying solo over here. None of this is quite working the way we want it to. We're doing it together. Let's see if it'll let me scroll now that I get in here. All right, we're going to go games, schedule, week number 7, 6. Come on, man. See, it won't let me scroll, y'all. That's the problem. Let me see if there's a better way to do this. All right, if I'm at home, see, it won't even let me scroll this. See, because it's locked. It's so weird. The way that I... All right, we're going to try some. Let's see. What's up, Bill? Thanks, Tim. Yeah, nothing wants to work tonight at all. What if we did this? Let's see. I think it's just like a simple button. I remember doing this before. And it was like a simple, stupid fix. It was like, are you kidding me? This is boring. I know it is, but I want to get this to work. It's bothering me now. And what the heck y'all got to do? We can't even get on PlayStation tonight. Let me see. Let's go properties. Oh, is this it? I think this is it. That was it. Jeez, all that. Okay. It was I knew it was a simple fix. And I couldn't figure out what the simple fix was. Guess what? We figured it out. Okay. Let's get back over here. I want to make sure that I can see this. Y'all can see this. Let's go back to games. We're going to look at a couple of week 6 games, a couple of week 7 games, and then we're going to talk some other stuff. Plus, it's just me tonight. So it's like, I mean, what all we're going to talk about. All right. Week number 6 games. There was a couple of really good ones. There was also a couple of big blowouts, as we can see here. Really good one, though. You got to talk about it, right? It is San Francisco versus the Seattle Seahawks. This was a great game. And Meek sort of is starting to own him whenever it comes to the regular season. Now, after the regular season, not so much, but in the regular season, Meek sort of owns him. It wasn't Mac this time, though, Kevin. It was actually... Was it? Meek told me he won. Was this not played? Bro, I totally misunderstood that because I jumped in his next stream and was like, congrats on beating the 49ers. And he said, thanks. I guess maybe we both misunderstood each other. So there you go. This one was not played. And that's what I guess I get for trying to talk about what I thought was a really good game. New England Patriots and Houston came down to a pretty good game. Tampa Bay and New Orleans. This game sort of drives me nuts because I feel like I had all the things that could go my way, and I passed for 38% completion percentage. This is when I gave up on revamp passing. I was like, you know what? I quit. I am going back to classic to get my confidence built. And then I broke it even more. I started watching YouTube videos on the college games. There's not many Madden versions of revamp passing out there. Just trying to figure out, like, what is it that I'm doing so wrong? And the basic point is I'm not doing anything wrong. And so now I'm starting to wonder, like, I may go back to it. I may just keep practicing on the side. I'm just starting to think that the way we play, and revamp passing just does not get along at all. And this game absolutely proved it. Is Kevin, I let you off the hook on that one. Cleveland Browns with a 2-point win over the Philadelphia Eagles. Cleveland at 5-2, having a pretty good season. Twinkie, as per normal, right there at the end of every game. He is on the edge, and he just can't put it away. Loses a close one to a pretty good Browns team who has started to figure some things out here as we start to reach the halfway mark. And that is a really good win for him because, again, Twinkie and the Eagles are just one of those pesky teams that never seem to go away. It's the running game for the Cleveland Browns that has been a big surprise for me. They have not been running the ball quite as well as they are used to running the ball. And I really expect a little bit more from the running game of that team. I got to make this just a little bit bigger so I can see it. That's what she said. Going back to a couple more week 6 games, the Bills and the New York Jets, a 28-23 game. That was a really close and good one. The Chargers fall to the Broncos 31-38. You got a 26-23 victory over the Raiders against the Steelers. The Steelers have been a surprise team. We'll touch on them in just a little bit. And then a 23-14 victory for the Atlanta Falcons over Mr. Birdman and the Panthers, who I still think can and will turn some things around. This week is about to advance. Then again, I have no clue what's going to happen since PSN is down. I don't know if we're given extra time or not like we can advance. We can't even get in the CFM. So I have no clue what's up with this last game or what we're going to be doing in that game. A bunch of big scores in this one, though. 43 for the Jaguars, 48 for the Detroit Lions. I think we got a 52 burger there from the Cardinals. I watched a little bit of that game before I had to disappear for church. A 34-31 victory for the Rams over the Raiders. 32 points by the Miami Dolphins against the Colts. 38-34 victory for the Packers over the Houston Texans. 36 for the Panthers. There's a big win there for him. I think that was a CPU game, he said. Oh, no, it wasn't. No, I thought it was, but it was not. And a 34-13 win for the Ravens over the Bucks. That one was a pretty big surprise and not one we thought we were going to see. The Denver Broncos and Saints played to a great one. This is the one game where it went back to classic passing, started to find some confidence. I really do feel like I played well enough to win this game, and there were three things that happened. Number one, I threw a stupid pick in the third quarter, just one of those dumb decisions where I made a last moment choice. It was the wrong one. It is what it is. Came right back the next play. I read it perfect. I was there with the DB way before the ball got there. Went up for the pick. He drops it. Get the ball. End up stopping the Broncos. Get the ball back. I'm driving. 4th and 3. Ran a perfect route. Wide open. Guy just drops it. Chris Olave just drops it right in his hands. End up losing a really tough one. This one really sticks to me. The other ones, I just got outplayed. This one, I feel like I played well enough to win this game and just could not find a way to come out on top. Mark Anthony did play much better, 64%. Anything's better than 32% of your last game. Just couldn't get the run game going at all. 1.81 average for Kendre Miller. We did a pretty decent job on defense all around, but the one big dropped interception really came back to hurt us. You can see we really struggled with getting receptions kind of to one guy. Mr. Howell just couldn't get open at all. And we were just outplayed from that perspective. But overall, if you watch this game, we really were in control for a majority of it. And it just got away from us right there at the end. Now, I want to do a couple of things here. I want to do a checkpoint. I'm going to give my biggest surprise here at the halfway mark. That could have been good or bad. Again, the other guys couldn't join me tonight. Mr. Maniac, even though he's supposed to be playing his game, which he can't be playing right now. So technically, I guess he could have been here, but he's not here. And then Mr. Dwayne, he's having to work. And then I want to talk about turnaround. I want to pick a team that could turn it around before the end of this season. I've got mine. I want to hear yours in the chat. So give me your biggest surprise. The one team, good or bad. One player, good or bad. That is a big time surprise for you as we get through week number 7 here of season 111. For me, I got to go team, and I got to go with the Chicago Bears and Mr. Colin. He's got this team sitting here at 4-2, an 86 overall team. Doesn't feel like that's what that team would have been when he took them over. So he's done a quick job of turning this team around. And man, he's got this offense humming. 6th in passing, 15th in rushing, 8th in points. He is playing or 15th in total yards. He's 26th in rushing, but 6th in passing, 8th in points. He's done a really good job of winning some games here, at least early on. And this has been a surprise for me because this is not a roster that was ready to go from the get-go. This was a team that was probably going to take some time. He has dropped his last 2, but some big wins early in this season. 49-42 over Tennessee, 21-3 over Houston. 50 burger on the Indianapolis Colts, 31-17 over the Rams. Dropped a tough game to Carolina. I don't know if that was really played or not. If so, congrats to Bird. That was a pretty big game right there from Bird. And then dropped a big game to Fleury and the Jacksonville Jaguars this past week. So lots of things that were not going well in these last 2 weeks. But overall, for this team, I think he's playing really, really well. Caleb Williams still needs some time. He's got DeAndre Swift, who just absolutely murdered me in real life NFL fantasy football. He's got Cole Kmet, He's also got this guy, Gerald Everett, who can still get out there and make plays. He's got DJ Moore, Kenan Allen, Adunze. I think I said that correctly. He's got a pretty good offensive line built here. They still need some work overall. They have been a big surprise for me. Colin usually takes a season or two to get things turned around. I would also say, though, that I do agree with Kevin. I think the Denver Broncos are a big-time surprise as well. There could be 100 of these guys. I'd love to see which teams you think are biggest surprise here. We got Denver in the chat. I talked about the Chicago Bears. There's a couple other teams that you could talk about here. And I sort of waffled a bit when I was making this one out for me. I was going to say the New York Giants, right? Not a team built to succeed right off the bat. The Green Bay Packers sitting at 6-1. That's a massive surprise. Both of those teams playing really well. I could also make an argument for the Atlanta Falcons being a surprise from the concept of rookie quarterback, lefty, maybe not a guy that you're automatically going to start winning with, but he is winning with him. And you could also talk about the Minnesota Vikings. Look over the AFC side. You could talk about the New England Patriots still right up here. Baltimore's replugged in. These guys are a little bit more sort of spread apart than I think what you see over here in the NFC. Jacksonville and Fleury's got some things turned around over there. Cleveland and Denver. We know the kind of player Denver is, but he's got that team playing really well. So lots of options for people to be able to talk about. I think those are all really, really good teams. And what's the one team in the chat that you think could turn things around before the end of this season? This one also could have been a really great question to hear the other guys' thoughts on. I don't know why this thing keeps going larger and larger and larger. That's what she said. It keeps moving around on me on my screen. I want to come over here and look at the standings, show you a couple of teams. Let's go by division here. You got a couple of teams here still in the hunt. You got the Ravens at 4-3, Steelers at 2-4. I didn't consider anybody here in the South. 1-win teams, man, that's going to be tough to turn things around. You got the Patriots, you got the Dolphins. They're right there on the cusp. Technically, everybody in the AFC West with the Raiders, Chiefs, and Chargers. Looking at the NFC here, I think everybody in the NFC North could be considered. I think maybe everybody in the NFC South. I don't know. I'm pretty hard on the South, especially the way I've been playing lately. NFC East, I think there's nobody that can turn around. I think the Cowboys are already there. Giants are already there. And then looking at the NFC West, you could definitely consider the Cardinals. So who is the team for you that you think could turn some things around? I think I got Mr. Kevin saying my Saints. Man, I sure hope so. I'm really trying. We got Randy who says the Lions. I'm going with the Carolina Panthers and my guy Bird. I really do think that Bird can get things turned around this team. He started to figure some things out in these last couple of weeks here. Matter of fact, he said, it was played. You won't believe. And could win that. Breaks my heart. I don't know what that was trying to say. That's when those typey fingers don't do you any justice, because I know Bird is an extremely smart individual, and his fingers did him no justice there. I do think that Bryce Young is going to get things turned around, and when he does, that team is going to start to win. He's got to get more things figured out on the offensive line to protect him, but Jonathan Brooks has definitely got that running game rocking and rolling. I think we've got 9 touchdowns, 752 yards. He's averaging 8.26 in yards per carry. This guy is just absolutely a monster. He could use a few more weapons on the wide receiver position, but that'll give him some time. I think Bryce Young can get some things turned away. And look, guy plays amazing defense, and he's in a division that is still very winnable. I do think that the Falcons and the Bucs are great teams, will be playoff teams, but they're not absolutely just running away with it. There's still time for the Panthers to turn things around, and that is the team that I think can turn things around. Actually, I want to go one more. I did have one more picked here, and this is a team I've been pulling for quite some time. I'm going with the New England Patriots. He's sitting at 3-4. He's starting to find a little bit of traction. A big win against Houston. Dropped against the Jacksonville Jaguars, but they have been on a heater as of late. I do think he has the quarterback. that is going to be a quarterback he can win with here. 21 touchdowns already, 14 interceptions is really, really high. He's got to get that down. If he can get that number down, he's got to get the running game figured out. Find some balance there. I think the New England Patriots can turn things around. Looking at the running game, he's got Stevenson with 352 yards, Gibson with 144 yards, both of those guys with 2 touchdowns. That's just not enough. You need more production from the running game. If he can figure that out, it'll take some pressure off of Mr. Rusty Starr. He'll be able to put up more wins, not put the ball in harm's way as much. He's got some weapons on the outside, spreading it through Thornton and Bourne. He's got Henry in there. Maybe could use a little bit more speed on this team, but he's got to get the running game figured out. That's the biggest piece here for this team that has to get figured out one way or the other. His sacks production is a little down. Godchild's got 2. He's got a guy with 1.5, couple guys with 1, couple guys with half. He's got to get a few more sacks, get some more production from them. Plenty of interceptions here. Let's look at the forced fumbles. He's got plenty of forced fumbles. Was this 5 guys right off the back that's got forced fumbles? He's getting plenty of those. He just needs to find some more run game. He needs to be able to take the pressure off of Rusty Starr. And I think the Patriots can turn some things around. They're one of my teams. Let's open up the OMFL mailbag. I'm going to get over here. Let's open up the mailbag. Let me get over here to the mailbag, and then we will keep an eye on the chat and use Neon Sports if we have to come back. I promise, Deuce, my last 2 weeks, all my friends in the Deuce have been out of this world. I've not even had a chance to breathe yet. Almost did not have a show tonight, and then almost really didn't have a show whenever I seen the PlayStation Network was down. I promise I will get y'all streaming alerts figured out. I paid for that stupid app. We're going to get it figured out. I just need a little bit more time to be able to get there. All right. Priest said, any rookie stands out so far in the first 7 games? Let's get over here and look. We can go stats. I think we can go leaders. I thought there was a rookie. Here we go. Rookies only. There we go. Got a couple of rookies here having pretty good seasons. Bo Nix. You guys said that Denver was a big surprise. You got to talk about Bo Nix. 11 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. That's pretty good. Michael Penix. We talked a little bit about him with the Atlanta Falcons. 12 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, 1,600 yards. Those are the 2 quarterbacks that are going to be movers and shakers over there. To me, it was the guy that I said could lead his team to making a comeback this season, Jonathan Brooks. 752 yards through 7 games, 9 touchdowns. The guy is playing superb. I cannot say Isaac's last name, but we know what he's doing there in San Francisco. 11 touchdowns already this season. Not nearly the yards production as Brooks, but he's definitely getting the production from the end zone there. And even Trey Benson coming over as an import with the Arizona Cardinals, he's getting it done. 8 touchdowns, half the yards as Mr. Isaac, but the 8 touchdowns is pretty nice. Looking at a couple of reception leaders here, Adunze, he is just blowing everybody out of the water. Yards-wise, he's right there with Harrison. The 6 touchdowns is going to put him towards the top, actually tied for the lead. Looking at the other one, it's going to be Troy Franklin. These top 4 guys, man, all having really, really good seasons. And Brock Bowers, of course, 582 yards, 5 touchdowns. That dude's an absolute weapon to get going. Tackles leader, you got Junior Colston leaving with the Chargers. Interceptions, you got Peyton Wilson and Franklin Robertson. Trying to, oh no, this game's played. No, you just got Peyton with 4 interceptions. And then your sack leader, Chop Robinson. What a name for Miami. And Rook Adortho? I don't know. Figure that out for yourselves. You guys are smart people. These are pretty good players that are making a lot of really big plays, but it is hard to not point out some of these offensive leaders. Those are really, really good players. Thank you, Priest. Mr. Beal, you guys are killing me. You got to go one question per post. I can't mark them. Through 7 weeks, which divisions in each conference is shaping up to be the most competitive? Good question. Let's get over here and look at some standings. This one's a great one. AFC North. You got three teams in the hunt, but a fourth team that could make a turnaround. He's only 2 games back. Does it show games back? It does not show games back, but he's only 2 games back from the division leaders in the loss column. He's only 1 game back from the Ravens, so that is a really great division. AFC South right now is a runaway for Fleury. AFC East, everybody but the Jets. I do think the Jets, his owner is too good to not figure things out, but right now everybody has an absolute shot at that one. Maybe not as good as the AFC North when it comes to winning records. Those guys haven't beat up on each other quite enough yet. Let's let that one kind of get a little further down the road before we look at it. We only have a couple of division games where if you look at the AFC East, you're seeing a lot more division games, and so they're beating up on each other just a little bit more. AFC West, not bad. Broncos at 6-1. Raiders right there at 4-3. And then you got the Chiefs and the Chargers both with 2 wins each. They are not completely out of it. The Chargers only 3 games back from the top Broncos. Still an opportunity there. NFC North, I think, is very similar, right? You got the 6-1 Packers, but everybody else, your bottom team in the Lions. And we've seen what Tim has been able to do. What's up, Nephi? Tim's been able to get that team turned around. And whenever they do, he can get on a bit of a run. He's only 3 games back from the top guy. I talked a little bit about the South. They're in similar positions. Bucks and Falcons got out to the big lead. They come back just a little bit. Saints and Panthers are struggling out of the gate. Mine started out 2-0, and then we hit a full skid for 5 games is what we're on. So as we kind of turn the corner, there still is an opportunity to make a run there. NFC East, it feels like a 2-man race. Twinkie's got a long way to go. Shiloh, I think it's just tough. He's got a tough team to sort of rebuild. We'll see if he's able to sort of get things lined up. NFC West shaping up to be a really fun division. Seahawks and 49ers battling it out. But the Cardinals just hung a 50 burger on somebody, and the Rams just had an upset not too long ago. Might be a fun division to sort of see where we're at in the next 3-4 advances. I think you've got some really fun races in the NFC North, AFC West, and especially the favorite race so far is the AFC North. I think that's by far the best race that we got going. Mr. Bill, it says, with the trade deadline right around the corner, have you heard any whispers of any big trades on the horizon? Anything you guys may trade for to improve your team? I've heard nothing. I can't keep up with trades at all, especially the way my life is going right now. And I'm the only one here tonight. So I'd love to hear in chat. Are you guys hearing about any trades? Nephi, my day's been okay, man. It's been a classic Monday. I'm glad it's going to be ending here pretty soon. Are you guys in the main chat? Are you hearing anything about trades that are out there? I think the Panthers possibly can make a move. We've seen some guys be active out there. I'm hoping that it's starting to teeter down. We've got one more week here. Week number 8 always sort of gets one more run. Those teams like the Packers, for instance, or maybe like the Ravens, right? Somebody that's trying to make one last little run. I flipped you the middle bird in my head whenever I read that this afternoon as I was preparing for the show. I've already kind of said my piece. I don't know. It says we're back now. I guess my internet, too, is taking the night off. It says we're back, though, so I didn't say a whole lot other than I don't know anything about trades. If you missed that whole section, I know nothing. I can't keep up. I think there are a few teams out there that might be able to make a couple of moves. We always see a little bit of a run on action as we get to week number 8. The next question from Bird was, what is my thoughts through revamp passing? And I said I flipped him the middle bird in my head whenever I read that because I think he set me up on that question. I'm not a fan of revamp passing, and I don't know why. It makes perfect sense to me. It should be the one that we use. It just ain't clicking with me. And it took a while to click in college, and then I started to figure it out. For me, there's something about the throwing motion with the meter, and it's not consistent, and it throws me off, and I need consistency. Even if the consistency isn't the best, at least it's consistent. You can work around it. To me, revamp, it needs another year, or it needs a little touch up. It needs something. And I know some guys are killing us with it, but I feel like it's not there. It's broke to me. It don't work the way it should, and I am terrible with it, and I don't know why. It frustrates me. I practice, I can't figure it out, and so I'm classic until I can get more practice under my belt, and maybe in a season or two, I love it. I love the concept. I love the idea. It just feels not there, not polished. Then again, maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm 45 yesterday, and this game has passed me by, and I should hand the OMFL off and go find something better to do with my time. Kobe, if you have 1 minute left in the game, down by 7, who would you want as your coach? No OMFL champion allowed. Likewise, up by 7, who would you want? Guys are killing me. I need you to put these on 2 different posts so I can actually mark them with a green mark. That's why I'm putting the 100 sign so you can get 2 of them. Who would I want if I'm down by 7? Man, there's a couple guys. Boy, this is a tough one because I feel like I don't want to waffle. I want to give an answer. But you said no champions, so I'm taking champions off the table. There are a lot of good answers here. My knee jerk was Bird. He's not a champion here yet. But I play Bird, and when he puts it together, man, he can be unstoppable. Part of me says you could argue Priest. I know that Priest overall OMFL record is not amazing, but when Priest is hot like he is right now, Priest can hang 50 on anybody, and he is a very great offensive player. One could say Maniac. I don't know if Maniac is a champion here. I don't think so, but I feel like I could be wrong. He might have one. Maniac, when he's clicking, he knows how to call plays that make you second guess your life. Boy, this is tough. I can make an argument for Roger. Again, him and Priest I would put in the same package. I can make an argument for Massimo. I've seen Massimo with that offense, man, hum, but this is about my offense, who's coaching my team. I'd have to go Meek. I just think Meek is balanced, knows how to attack you, is a very good play caller, and is moments before he wins an OMFL championship. Same question, but the other way. But on defense, you're up by 7. Who would you want? I would definitely say you can make an argument for, man, offense. You could also make an argument for Joker. I think Joker would have to be in consideration. I think a lot of those names you could also say. But again, I'm trying to take champions off of the plate, right? So there's no Penguins, there's no Denbrew, there's no Dwayne, there's no D-Money. Like, you're taking those guys off the table. Cincyberg off the table. Randy off the table. There's not a lot of guys left. Bird, I think I would make an argument for Bird, right? He knows how to get those settings. He knows how to do it. But Maniac said probably my real choice. He was my first choice. I'd probably say Bill. Colin would be another one. But Bill, I think, would be really, really good. I think you could also make an argument for Meek. He's another guy that I think also plays really good defense. Mr. Denver, if you could bring back any former OMFL owner, this one made me laugh, add to this group, who would it be and why? It would be somebody that none of you have ever heard of. There was a gentleman called EA Player whenever I first started the OMFL back in 2001. And EA was my co-commish for 5 or 6 or 7 years, whatever it was, as a 24-year-old idiot just trying to do something cool and fun, and happened to get super lucky with really smart people that helped me build something super cool. And EA was one of those guys. This was my first really close friend. He ended up suffering from a nerve issue that he had received in the military. And I could not be totally right about this. We're talking 24 years ago, right? But I think like an Agent Orange type situation. And because of that, he slowly sort of digressed from when we first met until the time when I exited the PC League. He was wheelchair bound, had lots of pain. This is sort of before medical marijuana really became popular and an option. He was sort of moving to places where it was an option just to give him some relief. And I often wonder where this guy's at. I've tried to find him. I've tried to look for him. And it's, that was back in the day when, if you didn't have somebody in the white pages of a phone book, you just lost and you couldn't find them. I don't have he wrote me a letter one time. I don't have that letter, way back when. So I've moved since then and lost the letter, but he's the one guy that I would love to bring back. There's probably others that if I really rack my brain, I could go through the Hall of Fame list. If you guys have never looked at the Owner Hall of Fame, that's a really great list of really good humans that helped me build this community. And EA Players, one guy we wouldn't be here. So this is back in the day before we used to use ICQ. So anybody super old school knows ICQ. It still was an awesome chat, even way back when. It was very similar to Discord, minus like the forums and whatnot. You could have different chats and be in them. It was just an awesome little chat program. But the way you really communicated way back when was the EA servers were yours. So EA didn't have servers. You were your own server. So my PC would run 24/7 and it would have our server up. And so when I was working nights way back when I was 24, 25, 26 years old, I get home at 1 a.m. I'm single. My wife didn't live with me at the time. We weren't married. We didn't have kids. I'd want to burn an hour or two, trying to come down from working all day. I'd log in and get in the servers, and there was a chat function there. Guys would be in there. You'd have full access to your CFM. You could look up stats and trades and just talk bull in this chat. And it was just awesome. Those are just great, great memories that I wish there were streams back then. I wish there were videos from back then. There just wasn't any of those options. That wasn't a thing back then. And it was really, really fun times and brings back a lot of good memories. Kobe, season 1 is shaping up pretty interesting, I like to say. Which team has piqued your interest the most? I think I talked about them. If I had to pick sort of another team, the Broncos are interesting to me. Nothing blew me away about him outside of his running back. Like you get to the end of the game, you're like, how did I lose this? He didn't do anything massively sexy, but he just grinds away at you, and he sticks to his plan. As long as he doesn't waver, that's going to be a really good team that has my interest. NFC North with the Packers. Priest, you're playing awesome right now. The question for you always is, number one, how much do you care? I don't know how much you care even when you're winning, but how much will you not gunsling? You're like Brett Favre in reality here in the OMFL. If you can stick to it, you're a very, very interesting team. Can the Giants continue his run? Does he have the team to fully compete with the Cowboys? Meek, can you get it done in the playoffs? We know what you can do in the regular season. We've seen you beat the 49ers. Can you do it whenever it counts? Ravens, do you even care to do it? That's going to be the biggest question there. Which team will finish the season holding that piqued interest? I have Jaguars. You got to talk about the Jaguars. Another team. Like, what? Man, he's turned things around. He's figured some things out. For the first time in my time I've known him, he's happy. Who knows? What team is going to continue to hold my intrigue. Seahawks, I think he is a regular season champion. Now go do it in the playoffs. And he knows that. And I think he uses that for bulletin board materials, and that's fine. It's not a shot at him. We just got to see him do it in the playoffs. Tim, are the Packers for real? Priest has done an incredible job so far this season, and I'm curious to know if he's a contender or pretender. Yes, he's a contender. He's 6-1. Let's see, 6-1, 4-0 at home, 2-1 away. He is 3-1 in the conference. He's scoring 31 points, only allowing 16. He's won 6 straight. Absolute contender. Now, let's check back again in 4 weeks, 5 weeks. Is he still a contender? But absolutely a contender. He's playing really good football right now. We'll break down his stats just a little bit. Rex Manning, 10 touchdowns, 13 interceptions. That's a bit worrisome. 54% completion percentage. That's a bit worrisome. Those numbers are a bit scary. Running the ball, though, is playing pretty good. 105 for 508 and 11 touchdowns is really good from Josh Jacobs. We've seen him play better before with guys. You know, he's got guys in the Hall of Fame that have played better, but that's a pretty good season. A lot of drops from his receivers. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 drops. That's not going to help Rex Manning at all. But the defense playing really good. 9.5 sacks from Lucas Van Ness. A bunch of tackles for... I know I just seen a guy had 11. I don't know where that went. It just said 11 up there, but he's got a guy with 8 and 5. It's got to be Lucas Van Ness with 11. Bunch of guys with more than one interception. So it's actually the defense that seems to be leading him right now to making him a true contender. Mr. Maniac, most surprising player of this young season? That's a really good question. I haven't even really looked. I think we talked about a couple of the leaders, and there's definitely some guys catching my eye. I keep going back to Jonathan Brooks. I'm sorry. That guy is just 752 yards, far and away leading the league. 9 touchdowns is going to put him up in the top half of the league in that stat. He's playing really, really good football. Nothing super surprising at the tackles. Nothing crazy exciting at the interceptions outside of 2 middle linebackers are up there. 2 of your top 3 are linebackers and interceptions. That's probably a little interesting. Your sack leader, Van Ness, we just talked about him with Green Bay. Crazy interesting. I wish it showed receptions. Just shows yards, averages, touchdowns. Mike Evans, McLaurin, Bobby Freeman. Bunch of 9 and 8 touchdown guys there. Even Hal's got 8 touchdowns. Yeah, I think if I had to pick one guy, it would be Jonathan Brooks. Guy's playing good football. Cool. Big Hurt can't even type out a question without it being long-winded. What is the biggest thing that you liked about Madden prior to season 11 starting that you're still really high on or have completely flipped your opinion on now? Revamp passing. I thought it was a game changer. We waited for it. And it just doesn't feel right. Didn't feel right in college either. It's why I quit playing college football. I'm going to try it again, but on classic mode. And so that's why I joined the OMFL college, because they allow classic passing. It feels like the biggest thing broken in the game. And I'm saying that from a guy who understands that a lot of you have figured it out, and I'm the only one that has not figured it out. I'm trying to think if there's something else in the game that I flipped on and that I'm still really high on. I still like the player movement. I think overall the fluidity is there. I do think that last update changed it some. Feels a little clunky at times. Yeah, passing is probably the biggest thing. Here's one other thing I'll say. I don't like the things I'm seeing in chat, and I'm not saying they're wrong, but it's sort of something I don't like. Going all pro has meant drags, slants, quick passing is killing people, and people love. I've gotten dragged to death this whole season, and it seems like I'm not the only one. There's a lot of guys getting dragged to death right now, and I think that sucks. And I think it's just the way that the game is playing. And I don't think that's good. It's not good for us. And I'm just trying. I'm not going to. I've done some small adjustments on sliders, but overall, I'm not making any sweeping and multiple changes. I'm just not doing it this mad. The game is what the game is, and that's how we're going to play it. The slider settings, in the deuce. Another reason why I quit, it felt like none of it made sense to me. And that's the thing with sliders. You start changing them, you chase your tail the rest of the Madden, and someone's always not happy. And then they start comparing one league to the other, and they start sharing, and then you try them, and they don't play the same. It's just not worth it. It's like the game is the game. I'll make some minor adjustments, and we're going to leave it at that. Big Hurt, since we have a good half of the first season in, and you are getting more comfortable each week with the game, if you are to wipe your team clean and start fresh and build it, what are you going for? High-end quarterback, receiver, running back, O-line, defense? Great question. I think it depends on your play style too. I think this is a good thing. I don't know that there's one way that you can build a team to win in this league. I think you can win with multiple different options. I would probably build with a really good defense. I think you can go rookie quarterback and win. I think you can find receivers on everywhere. You can draft one. Running back would be another position that I think if you don't already have one, you need to go find one, but you can in the draft pretty easy. I haven't been proven that O-line, there's not a massive difference from the 99 overall to the 79 overall. I just don't believe there is. So I think defense. If you have a really good defense, we see it with Priest. Well, we looked at his defense. We talked about it with a couple of these other teams that play really, really good defense. Like if you can go out there and shut people down, I think that's the Jaguars, right? He gets Lattimore and he's flying high with Lattimore. I think you can really turn some things around. So I would build with the defense. I think Priest, so he says top 3 teams on defense, top 3 teams on offense. Here's my problem with that question. It's not really a problem. It's just, we just pull up the stats, and the stats will tell us who the top 3 teams. If you're asking my opinion, well, my opinion needs to be based in some kind of reality. So it's not a super sexy question from we'll just hit the stats and go look. So let's look at the offense. I don't love how it kind of breaks these down, but we'll look, right? This is sorted by yards first. So you got Bengals, Broncos, Colts, Raiders, 49ers, Patriots, Jags, Dolphins, Packers, Browns, right? Those are your top, I don't know how many I ran through there, 7, 8, 9, 10 teams, whatever that is. I think you got to go a little bit deeper though. Look at the passing touchdowns, look at the running touchdowns, and start to find a happy medium there. And I think I would still settle right there with the Bengals, right? Number 1 in yards. They're in the tops here in passing touchdowns, towards the top percentage in rushing touchdowns, towards the top percentage-ish in sacks. He's got tons of first downs. His third down completion percentage is going to be really, really crazy high. Yeah, he's like top 10 for sure. Oof, mine's terrible, isn't it? I would say the Bengals. I think the Bengals would be your number 1 offense. You asked for the top 3. Got to consider the Colts. I know his season isn't going the way he wants it to. His third down percentage is lower than you would like to see. But overall, he's got the yards. He's got the passing and rushing touchdowns. I think you'd have to consider him. 49ers, Jaguars. Bengals, 49ers, Jaguars. Those would be my 3 top offensive teams. Looking at the defense, again, this one's going to be sorted by yards here. I'm really looking at sacks. I wish we had interceptions in this. That would be good to have as interceptions. So right now you got Eagles, Giants, Chiefs, Cowboys, 49ers, Bills, Lions, Ravens, Falcons, Browns, and Vikings. Those are sort of your top 10. I can't count quickly, but those are going to be sort of your top 10. I think, boy, look at the Ravens, right? He is getting after the quarterback. You'd have to put him up there. I'd say Cowboys number 1, his rushing yards, his sacks. Giants number 2, Ravens number 3. Again, I'm doing this quick right here on the spot. Maybe it's not absolutely perfect. I don't have interceptions in front of me. But those are the ones that sort of come right off the top. I think you got to look at those teams on both offense and defense. All right, buddies. I think that's going to do it. It's going to bring us to the end of the show. Appreciate y'all hanging out with me. Thanks for being patient as we worked out some things and listened to me do the show all by myself. I'm going to go see if PSN is up. You guys know? Is it up? Is it down still? I'm just going to try to get my college game in. It's crazy late. So I guess, Bird, please be kind. Please be patient. Let me get it in. And I'll try to get it in tomorrow, I suppose. I was hoping to get it in tonight, though, so that I could play shooters tomorrow, stream some shooters, but that isn't going to happen. So, well, guys, have a great... Oh, still down. There you go. Well, that absolutely blows dust. Well, Kobe, it's number 1, it's good to see you, brother. I know you've been through a lot personally and working a lot, and it's just good to see your name. I ordered your extension today. Life has been hectic with me. Wife trying to recover from surgery and just a lot of other things, but we got it done tonight. As soon as I get a delivery date, I will send it over to you, but it is on its way. Congratulations again for doing that. We're going to do some other big giveaways. I want to give away a PlayStation Pro controller. I bought this one for myself a year and a half ago or so. They're awesome. I think we're going to do one of those. And more merch and maybe a webcam. I don't know. I want to buy things that people will use. And so I don't want to start buying things that people won't use. There are some really cool little controller things. Like if you ever see these things on my controller, these things are, like $20-$30, whatever they are. We could buy some of those and give those away. So we're trying to do some giveaways. I'm trying to do way more this year since we had such a great turnout. And also when you blink, you're like, oh gosh, man, we did so many giveaways. And last year I gave away so many t-shirts, so many games, so many everything. It was like, oh crap, I gave away too much early. This year I've been trying to be more patient and spread it out. I'm also keeping my eye out for some Black Friday deals so we can get those things ordered and do some giveaways. It's always a struggle too. It's like, do I order things cheap and send them here, but then I got to go mail it out? I'm like, I don't want to deal with that. It's much easier just to do a giveaway and then buy things online, just ship it straight to people so I don't have to fight with it. Anyway, I don't know. I'll come up with something. Guys, I love you. You matter. Remember that I appreciate you. I appreciate you guys when you come hang out and chat. And come hang out with me again tomorrow because I'm pretty sure we'll be back again. Take it easy, guys. Enjoy the rest of your week. We'll see you on the next Press Fest Live.
Smash that like and subscribe.